So I grew up and I feel like I really want to find love, really. I was always like with this illusion, right? Maybe from the movies, like I say, um, deep inside I believe in love, but maybe not in the kind of love I saw around me. That's a big difference. So I grew up. This is moving a little forward. So when I was growing, then I went to work. I started to work for different companies. I was always going up. I really like to give my best, but I never found somebody that really move me here, right? Some friends, some datings, but something simple, maybe more superficial. One relationship it will last almost 1 year. That was maybe the longest one. An amazing woman, and she's really nice, very sweet. So, but we get bored and then we separate. So this kind of relationship I have. Then I was working in a shipping company called Maersk, maybe you know, from Denmark. And going back home, very close to home, maybe 5 minutes far from home. One car intercept me. The guys go out with the guns, and they were kidnapping me. And then they release me after around 3 hours, and I go back home around almost midnight. If you want to know more about the story, I can share you privately, but I want to keep it short because what is coming later is more important. That was the first time life shook me, really, like slapped me, say, okay, come on, you're living a normal world, whatever you want to call it, the illusion, the simulation, whatever. It's time to start your awakening process, really. And in those days, I was worried about my family, about their health. I was searching for love in some way, very superficial way. But when I experienced that, it helped me to sit down and really think about life. Yeah, around 20, 26 year old. 2 years after that episode, because I didn't know what was happening in my body, in my soul, in my emotions, those repressed emotions, that was a unsolved trauma. All of us, we know about that. I experienced that in silence, and then my body developed cancer. I passed through surgery, radiotherapy, and I survived. And I'm here to share my story with you.
Hi there, welcome to the replay of our after hours discussions with professional coaches. Your exclusive complimentary Sunday session for all of our community around the world, where coaching minds unite with our people to create real world results. I am Adrian Cahill, your host and founder of the Motivate community, and more recently, Monday Morning Motivation. As a global trainer in NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, coaching, and hypnosis, this weekly gathering brings some of my colleagues from trainings, my fellow students and coaches all together in one place where we can discuss, share, help change the world by delivering free, quality information that's here to help you transform.
To hear the topic from Angela. Angela is before few years ago, I cannot remember, 5 or 6 years ago, he was one of our NLP students. So he is well trained and he has a good practice. I can remember, as Steven said, there was a few webinars he done up to now, and every webinar was amazing. So, Angelo, please, the stage is yours. Please share a
Okay.
bit more about love. Love is a big and important emotions, which sometimes we used to break because of some experience, but for sure we can come back again with love and continue with our love, with our
Yeah.
life. So,
Thank you, Darko. Thank you so much. Yeah, actually, I learned a lot from Adrian. Last time we were sharing here, I met him in Shenzhen like 2017 or 16, something like that. And that was the time I started to do kind of coaching. I don't call myself like a coach. I like more like I'm just sharing my things and kind of teaching some valuable things that I think helps me and help a lot of people. And in that time, I remember he recommended me the book of Robert Deals, From Coach to Awakener, right? That's the name, right? I think that was the first time. And when I saw it, it's like, wow, this kind of how come is this kind of people like Adrian is so generous and they start to share a lot of things. And I was like, wow, the models I was like, wow, this is so cool. And that also really literally motivated me to go deeper in this field of helping others in different ways, right? It doesn't matter our labels, but in different ways we are helping others. And I just feel like by sharing my story, that this is what I'm going to do today, um, my story about love, maybe you will find something that will either inspire you or enlighten you or give you some hope if you are passing through difficult times. Yeah. So yeah,
Yeah.
maybe that's why we're here. Yes, Adrian.
I'd like to share with you and everyone here appreciation and gratitude. Thanks for coming. And I absolutely love seeing some more cameras on. And the idea of the community and coming together is to help each other grow, whether you're a coach or a yogi or you're an expat or you're a Chinese returnee. But we come together to help each other grow. And we do and promote the NLP because been a fan of it since before I got in, and it's been a wonderful thing to share. But there's a very short story about the start of NLP. NLP started with some therapy, some perhaps psychotherapy, and then he got into the hypnosis part. And the hypnosis, man, was incredible, absolutely incredible. We can really go into this incredible space, and in this incredible space, it's beyond words. You get powerful emotions and energies like love, maybe gratitude, appreciation. And it changes the way we live life. And the great hypnotist and the NLP has been used to help people have great lives. But there was a point where the hypnotist said, NLPers, go away. You don't get it. Yeah? They're not quite getting it. So he started to push the NLPers away. One of the NLPers stayed, and I spent maybe a month studying with him and saw him recently. And he shared this story. But the NLP kind of got pulled away from it. And the NLP is absolutely amazing for understanding the structure. And it's actually like patterns, but it's more the patterns without the content. It's the structure of communication or the science of achievement, but there's a lot of structure to it. You have to, there's more to it. Once you have a really good structure can be like money or energy. It can allow you to do things. But what are you going to do? What's your like essential core? What's at your heart? And what's at your heart is more like this sacred symbol. All around the world, they use the same symbol. This is the absolute powerhouse which funnels everything. The NLP is kind of like an expression. So there's often been a bit of a split, and you might see the split between mind and body or science, and people try to explain things. Love is something I think we cannot explain. We got to experience it. And I love Angelo for his work because he probably can do amazing one-to-one coaching, but he shares from the heart. And it just radiates out. If you watch his videos on YouTube, if you're in the West, or you'll see some of his videos, it's just like love and energy is just pouring out of his heart. And the audience is just bathing in it. And come on, any audience or class, you like to bathe in the emotion. So the audience is there just bathing in love. It is so beautiful and transformational. Without the love, the NLP coaching work, it's not even worthwhile. So love's at the heart of it all. So Angelo, thank you very much. I'm going to try to shut up today and be here quietly and meditatively.
I
Thanks,
love it.
brother. Thanks for keeping it real.
Thank you for that. You know, you mentioned something very important. When we start to help people, it's because of love. Yeah, and sometimes we forgot to help ourselves. That's the thing. So I will share now a little about that part. When I was born and my story. I want to keep it as short as possible. We have time later for some questions or some interactions, of course. It's not teaching, it's not going to be just me sharing a lot of things, but I will do my best to shrink it and share the key points. My PPTs just have photos. I have a collection of photos of my life. I say to myself and to my wife, I told them that if everything disappear, at least I want to keep that folder until the end. So I capture these moments. So I will share. They are very private. Some of them I share in my videos, but not so many. So I really want to share today because even if we are just one, two, three, four, five souls, yeah, we can go deeper on that. Yeah, so it's very interesting and will be very beautiful today. So let me open here the sharing. Great, let's start. 1981. That's me, and I was blonde, and I don't know what happened. My mom, my dad here. You can see the cursor, right? My mouse, right? Can you see it?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Okay. So I can point. Um, I love them so much. They're still alive. They're still in this war, in this life. This was 2091, 1980, 1981, and this is my sister and my brother. So they are my family. That's me. Here I was like around 1 year, maybe 2 years old, 2 years old, something like that. But all the story started in 1981. So I grew up in a beautiful family. I love them so much. We are still in contact. We send messages sometimes. The only thing is there was a lot of conflict between my mom and my dad, almost every day. So I grew up receiving a lot of love. I was very spoiled. I'm the third one from three brother and sister, the third one. But I was also witnessing, right? I was observing how was their behavior. So the first role models in my life was my mom, my dad, my sister, and my brother. And I saw them also growing up. They start to face a lot of struggle. My brother become father when he was 18, and it was a huge responsibility. And what we were observing from outside is like going into a relationship and becoming a father was a problem. So I was learning that, right? It was stacking in my subconscious. I was creating all these limiting beliefs about love and intimate relationship. Then my sister also, she grew up. She found a boyfriend. They were fighting every day. They were yelling. You can hear from. We were living in a small house, right? I'm from Ecuador, by the way. We don't have tall buildings. Maximum 2 floors. So I was sleeping in the second floor, and we can hear downstairs. She was living with a boyfriend in that time, thinking to get married. A lot of fights, and you can hear the yells and rah, rah, rah. It was crazy. So those were my role models of love, especially intimate relationship. So when I was little, I was sick all the time. I have digestion problems. I have allergies. I was getting pills and medicine from the doctor. I was visiting the doctor almost every week, literally. And maybe those moments were the moments I felt peace. Maybe were those moments when I escaped from and my mom and my dad stopped fighting, so I can create that. Yeah. Psychologically speaking, maybe some of you understand that. Sometimes we create these things. We create our illness to survive.
Mm.
Yeah. So that was my childhood. I don't complain at all. I love them so much. I learn from that. I truly believe that, especially my brother and my sister, they were my earth angels because they came before me. My dad is a very lovely man, but also with a lot of anger management problems. He was very anxious and everything fast, and he was just to do, and run and sometimes they just leave everybody. So that also creates a lot of fear on myself. I was not able to sleep in my own room until I was 10 years old for different reasons. Maybe spoiled, but also fear. So I was in this environment. This is how I grew up. One of the fortunes I have my arts. I'm also a pianist. I'm a sculptor, and I love to also to do some drawing. But piano composing and sculpting are my strength in the art part. So I was very fortunate that I discovered these passions when I was very little. I started to play the piano since I was 4 years old, and I used that to manage my emotions. I didn't know I was doing that. I understood that maybe just 10 years ago, but in that time I have no idea what was happening. So there was one night, I was around 11 or 12 years old, going into the teenager age. And my mom came to my room and she started to cry. And I remember very clear, very clear. It's like it was yesterday, really. And she was telling me some stories. I don't remember the details, but I remember the feelings. And then she say, "I don't love your dad." I didn't understand that too much in that time. I kind of my brain understood the words, right, but I was not capturing the whole scenario, the whole moment. And those were my moments of love. So I grew up watching this, observing my brother, my sister passing through a lot of difficult times. So I told my mom one day, I don't believe in getting marriage. So I really don't believe in marriage, maybe until now, but I will share that about that later. And I told my mom, and I remember, and she also reminds me sometimes, I say I will not have kids. So for me, I was very little. I say two very strong things. I don't believe in marriage, so I don't want to get married. Kind of, for me, it doesn't matter. And second one, I don't want to have kids. I grew up with those beliefs. So I want to ask you, you can share in the chat or you can churn or digest by yourself. What are those, just one limiting belief that maybe you learned from the people that was around you since childhood? If you are brave enough, you can share. I mean, you can share now. You can open the microphone. You can write it down, or you can keep for yourself. But just one limited belief about love from childhood. Yeah. I'll just take 5 seconds, and then I continue. Yeah.
I can share. I believe it is not sharing emotions. This is something which I learned from my parents.
Not sharing emotions, right?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
So I think, but also when I'm working with clients now, I can notice that this generation,
Mm-hmm.
we were grown up on that way to keep for yourself, not to show emotions, just to push forward.
Yeah.
So
Thank you for sharing, Darko. I was born in Ecuador, like I say, the macho Latino culture. Yeah. Also, like a men don't cry, kind of.
yes, yes,
And my dad was a very strong masculine energy role model. Yeah. He was very physical. He's the one that fixed the doors, yeah, by hand. This kind of paint the whole house. That kind of farmer love, a lot of love for plants, for animals, for people, yeah, but some emotions there around to be managed. Thank you for sharing that. Okay, so I grew up with that, believing on that, but in some way I feel I wanted to find love. Yeah, maybe because I learned that from the movies or something like that. Let's check here the chat a little. Okay, if you get married, it's forever. Yeah, it's a very important decision. Totally important. Totally important. Another limiting belief we should sacrifice ourselves to please others. Oh my God. Yeah. By the way, I may get emotional, so bear with me. Yeah. And the same, not married nor have kids. Family members need to get together. So important what you are sharing. Thank you so much. Sunny, Nan, yeah, somebody there. I cannot see all the cameras now, but yeah, thank you for being there. So I grew up and I feel like I really want to find love, really. I was always like with this illusion, right? Maybe from the movies, like I say, um, deep inside I believe in love, but maybe knowing the kind of love I saw around me. That's a big difference. So I grew up, this is moving a little forward. 1999, I was playing in one of the most famous bands, music bands in my city. And I was here with the glasses, I was playing around 1999, 98. And I love it. It was so cool. That was the first way I was making income through my music. I was almost at the beginning of the university time for me. The first year I started to join the band. I was there like 2 or 3 years. I was really, really nice. A lot of girls around, but I was very shy. I'm an introvert artist. And when I am here in front of the camera or the stage, I use my 25% extrovert. But mostly I prefer to stay in silence and just digest. Maybe that's why maybe it's easier for me to make meditation. And in that time I was kind of looking for love. Really, I was always like, wow, maybe one day I can find a beautiful girl and yes, fall in love. It was beyond the physical attraction. I can swear that it was not about sexual attraction. It was easy to find a girl. I was in this culture, right? The more girls you have, more macho you are. But deep inside, I felt that's not the path. And it took me years to really, really understand that. But in that moment, I still have this kind of hope that I will find love. So when I was growing, then I went to work. I started to work for different companies. I was always going up. I really like to give my best, but I never found somebody that really really move me here, right? Some friends, some datings, but something simple, maybe more superficial. One relationship it will last almost 1 year. That was maybe the longest one. An amazing woman, and she's really nice, very very sweet. So, but we get bored and then we separate. So this kind of relationship I have. Then I was working in a shipping company called Maersk, maybe you know, from Denmark. And I was in my mid 20s, 20, 25, something like that. I was going back home at night around 9 p.m. I remember I was with a little cold and I didn't took the pill, so I feel like heavy. I was driving a really nice new car my dad bought that time. We have no license, number license, was very new. And going back home, very, very close to home, maybe 5 minutes far from home. One car intercept me. The guys go out with the guns and they were kidnapping me. And then they release me after around 3 hours, and I go back home around almost midnight. If you want to know more about the story, I can share you privately, but I want to keep it short because what is coming later is more important. That was the first time life shook me, really, like slapped me, say, okay, come on, you're living a normal world, whatever you want to call it, the illusion, the simulation, whatever. It's time to start your awakening process, really. And in those days, I was worried about my family, about their health. I was searching for love in some way, very superficial way. But when I experienced that, it helped me to sit down and really think about life. Yeah, around 20, 26 year old. 2 years after that episode, because I didn't know what was happening in my body, in my soul, in my emotions, those repressed emotions, that was a unsolved trauma. All of us, we know about that. I experienced that in silence, and then my body developed cancer. I passed through surgery, radiotherapy, and I survived. And I'm here to share my story with you. So then I saw another kind of love, deeper, family love. if I don't have my family in that moment, I think I would not make it because the fear was so deep. In that time, we didn't have so much information online like now. We are so fortunate that we have so much information now, real stuff that you can test in your life. But in that time, no idea. I was in a city that we have one of the best cancer hospitals in Latin America. My mom was a volunteer working in that hospital, so she also know a lot of amazing people there that they guide me through the process. And all of them say this type of cancer is easy to handle. That don't worry about that. But deep inside, you have no idea. For me, it was just to face death one more time after kidnap. That was another way to experience love, right? The support of a family. That was a very important time of my life for reflection. So one more question I throw to you. Have you ever experienced this kind of very strong life event that shift or shake your soul? You don't need to share your details. Maybe you just share yes or
Mm.
no. Maybe
Yes, I
that's one of
have.
the reasons you are here helping others. Yeah.
When I was young, around at 8 years, I was experienced with a traffic accident, and I
Hmm.
managed to survive. So
Wow.
I'm here
Eight
now.
years old,
Yes,
right?
but
Eight.
8 years. Yes, but
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not. I cannot remember what happens.
Hmm.
So
Okay. Thank you for
yes.
sharing. Did you think this helped you in some way at 8 years old later?
I don't know. I was not aware that about that this is something valuable in my life up to
Hmm.
40, because it was
Yeah.
like it happens and okay, like I was ill and I'm again okay. So I was not thinking about this traffic accident,
Yeah.
but it was. Now I realized that it was pretty hard thing because I have amnesia from this period, and yes, it was hard.
Yeah. Yeah. All these unsolved traumas will manifest later, sooner or later,
Mm. Yes,
badly,
I
right?
was I was ignoring a lot big period in my life. I
Yeah.
said up to maybe later up to 45.
Yeah, then
I
you
was
realize it.
ignoring
Yeah,
this.
similar to me. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I understood that all these events were a gift, really, because that was one way to shook my life in some way, deep way, and in the other one to experience another kind of love I never saw before or I never appreciated before. We sometimes give for granted what we have everything in life, right? And that's why this is an invitation to remember all these different kinds of love and bring them to present time and use it, right? To use it, use that. They just don't remember. It's just really bring that and use it. It's a tool. It's an anchor, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. Next, after that period of time, after recovering from the surgery, I didn't tell so many people, just key people. I didn't even tell my brother. My brother was living in US that time. Um, I didn't tell my best friend. He knew that after many years after that. I didn't want to share that because I learned that maybe a little earlier than when you're passing through some difficult times, it's not nice to share with everybody. Maybe just with the people that will help you to solve that. So maybe you agree with me on that. It's better to heal by yourself or with the people that will give you the right energy to heal. But life is not only storms and chaos. After that, working for the same company, there was an opportunity to join an amazing, amazing project. I was I became a global trainer thanks to that project. I was working in finance and then I joined that project, and then I started to travel to different parts of the world. I received training in Denmark. It was my first time in Europe. I was so happy there. I was here freezing my ass. Came in from a Latin culture. We don't have winter in Ecuador, okay? The lowest temperature is like 25 degrees. the lowest. So when I went to Denmark, I was really, really, really freezing. But it was very beautiful. And I lived there for a couple of weeks, and then I moved to Panama. I was helping in the projects in Panama. I was working for SAP, the ERM system, SAP implementation globally. This one is a photo in Costa Rica. This is a volcano that actually, after many years, after 2008, it became active again. I think that this area already disappeared, something like that, I heard. But Costa Rica, a beautiful place, and amazing people. Panama too, so beautiful. So, like I say, maybe God, universe, life, whatever you call it, give me a gift after all that painful part, all that struggle. And then I started to travel. I was so happy, and I was still thinking about finding somebody to love. Really, all the trips. I went there. I said, "Oh, maybe I will find somebody." Ah, so nice, with the illusion and with hope, right? And kind of a little naive too. So there was a chance to continue doing that. I was working in that project almost for 2 years, and then they called me to go to South Africa. In those days, when they called me to go to South Africa to do training, I hurt my knee. I was playing football. I was not even real nice football player, but I hurt my knee. And I had a surgery, one more to the list. Knee surgery, but very simple. But the doctor said you cannot travel more than 3, 4 hours by airplane. And that trip was like 12, 15 hours. But I say, I cannot miss that, doctor. Please help me. Give me some pills. Tell me what to do. Because in that position, I need to recover the knee. The knee can get swell, right? Can grow. So I really need to rest. I supposed to do that. But anyway, I made it. I went to South Africa. And I say I cannot miss that. So I went to South Africa. But you know what? When I went there, I was just worried about my training and taking care of my knee. That was the first time I was not thinking about finding somebody to love. Remember that because it's very important for where we come later. It was a beautiful training. We were there like almost 2 weeks. I was training this amazing group of souls. They are so nice. Some of them I still have them in Facebook, and it was amazing. The company pay you everything. Have amazing people. South Africa, Cape Town. If you don't know about that place, I don't know if somebody here is from South Africa. Amazing place. Was like a honeymoon, and then I met my wife. She was also a trainer. She's still a trainer, by the way, but not for the same company. We met there. She came from Denmark, and I came from Ecuador to meet in South Africa. And she took care of me. We went to the shopping mall. She asked for a wheelchair. She carried me all the way. She was very lovely, super smart. And when she came from Denmark, I was thinking, wow, she must be super cool to work there for the headquarters. This multinational company is amazing, great people. So I was like, wow, it's so nice to meet this kind of woman. It's like, wow, very impressed. We fell in love the first week. We were exchanging emails because in that time was not so easy just to use cell phone. We just exchanging emails. We were training in the same building actually. But yeah, that's how we started our relationship. 2008 it was a very beautiful year. Yeah. And then after so many months, she came back to Denmark. I went back to Ecuador. We were not sure what we would do, but we were having this relationship, distant relationship. It was so painful. Have you ever experienced this distant relationship? Yeah, it was very hard for me. I didn't know anything what I know now. I was very jealous of of my imagination because there was no really things, real things. And we were talking sometimes by what was the chat before, the old chat we used to use? Microsoft, forgot. You
All
remember?
messengers.
Messenger, yes. We were using Messenger.
AOL Messenger. Yes.
That one, yes, 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 you're right, thank you. And we were using that. She was connecting Denmark time, Ecuador time was a mess. We just have like a window of 30 minutes. So, but we were very, very in love. Conditional love, by the way. And I know that you got that too. And then we decide to leave our jobs. And she say she had a call, like a calling. They say you need to go back to China. She's Chinese, by the way. She said she wants to go back to China. And then it took me a lot of time for me to really feel that, to digest that, to say, okay, let's go to China. A huge decision, huge, huge, huge. So after some struggles and then some of not clear decisions, I also fall into an anxiety attack. I remember one day I was like, I couldn't sleep. I started to have pain in my chest, sweating cold, almost shaking. But I was just by myself there in my room, and then I tried to figure out what was happening. All this separation, detachment from family, leaving the nest was another stressful moment, but necessary. It was very important time. So here we are, 2009. My mom, my dad, 2009. Now they are a little older, yeah, and I miss them a lot. But this was the official last dinner. We went to a restaurant and invite them before I leave them. And then this is the first photo when I arrived to Shanghai in 2009. Very beautiful moment. A new stress, new relationship, a lot of insecurity, a lot of jealousy. I start to work in a very nice Mexican restaurant. I made up the way to general manager. I was in Shanghai, Mexican restaurant. I don't know if some of you were in Shanghai before. We have around 100 employees. A very challenging eh, stage of my life, but still very powerful, very beautiful. And in those days, we decided to get married, but because of fear, not because of love. Maybe some of you know, or maybe you have clients in China. The pressure from the families is very strong. And we were in our relationship officially, yeah, around 2 years. And immediately their family they start to give pressure to her. In my family, they don't care. I'm the third one. They already experienced all the things with the older brother and sister, but they never give me any pressure to me. So we decide to get married. And I get married because of fear, not because of fear something will happen to me, but because of I will lose her in some way. Fear to be alone, fear of the pressure, what the parents will say, fear of if I say no, maybe I need to do everything by myself. And then what? Go back to Ecuador? All these kind of thoughts were going around. But we got married, and deep inside, until now, we have love, the real one. In that time, you can see here we were celebrating. Have you ever experienced Chinese wedding? I think Lily, you are in China, right?
I
Yeah.
used to live in China. I lived in China for 15 years. But now I
Oh,
am
okay,
in between countries, I would say, mainly in
okay,
Canada and France. But yes, I do
okay.
know Chinese wedding. They are fun. They are like over the top, and
Yes.
it's beautiful. It's a thing of beauty.
Yeah, yeah. It's
Me
a
too.
must to experience. Yeah.
I am Chinese, so I know the Chinese wedding.
Okay, Sunny. Thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing. So we can see here also my mom, my dad crying, right, with the tears. This is my aunt, my uncle. They live from U.S., but we have like a mixed family spread around the world, and it was a very touching moment. Yeah. In those days I was still sick, digestion problems, still with a lot of allergies. I was overweight, like 10 kilos more than now. Sleeping late, anger things. I was getting mad with everything. I didn't have any clear path. I was just working, make money, waste my energies, flirting with girls, wasting my energies again, like I said before. I didn't sleep well. after job, because we have a big restaurant and we have a lot of parties. I was in charge of parties too, celebrating the parties in another party. So that was my kind of life in this time, or in this 2011, 12. And in one moment, I really arrived into a painful, physical, emotional, spiritual, painful moment in my life. And I say no more of this shit. I really need to change. It was too much. For some people, maybe in the surface, they saw me, oh, you have a nice job, you got married, and you live in a nice place. But inside it was a mess. So in that moment, I say, no more. I must change. Something inside me was calling me to do that. And I surrender. I surrendered to life, to God. I didn't know to what I was surrendering that time. And then I was open to learn. And when you're ready to learn, the teachers will come. My amazing wife, actually, she started her process before. She felt that bottom of the lowest point in her life before me. Ladies first, right? And she started to learn, and she recommended me some teachers, some trainings. We have the fortune to join amazing people, amazing trainings together. And some of you know here Master Robert Dilts. He came to China. We joined a success factor modeling, and I consider here he was like my real awakener. The moment that I was like everything opens and everything starts to flow from the field or whatever I remember he called it. And here we see also I was trying to coach my wife. You can see my face here, right? It was so hard. I was in crash all the time. When I was doing my best to stay in what Robert called coach state, right? A soul conscious state or beautiful state. But it was very hard. We were doing some training, some timeline. I don't remember exactly what we was doing here, but it was an amazing experience. In this year, 2016 and 17, I start to have the vision of my logo. This is the new version. This is an angel. I really start to see that. I love to, like I say, art. I draw sometimes, so I design my logo. And we have the chance also to meet amazing spiritual school, Brahma Kumaris from India. I don't know if you know them. We went there for a retreat called Inner Peace, Inner Power. And that was another amazing experience. We start to learn more meditation techniques, different kinds of guided meditation. I got inspiration. They use a lot of music in the meditation. And then I start to integrate everything into my workshops I call Relax in that time. We're talking about 2016, 17. Here's when I start to understand the power of music and live music meditation. When I guide and I play at the same time, it's extremely powerful. This is one of my tools now to help others to find inner peace. So in that period of time, thanks to Circle of Success model, when Robert used that model to teach in SFM, Success Factor Modeling, he used that model, Circle of Success. Start from the heart, the core passions, and then find your vision, your mission, ambitions, and role. So I follow that all the way. I really go deep inside that. I found my vision, my mission statement, connected to my passions and all the things I'm developing now. It took me a while, many years. So if you're in this path, like for example, Ray, if you're learning this for yourself, or Steven to apply later in your business, be patient. Maybe some changes or some aha moments will come like this, right? But then you need to keep training, keep sustaining yourself, sustaining with people around you, this beautiful community, people like Lily, Adrian, Darko, right? That they're helping others.
Yeah, mate,
Sustains, right? Yes.
that's a big thing we say at the end of our training. You know, at the end of our training is we always say, this ain't the end. This is just the beginning.
Here we go. Yes. 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 We made more than 100 workshops in Shenzhen before COVID. Corporate trainings, stress management, emotional intelligence, so all these kind of things. I love it. I'm still learning. This is a continuous learning, but it was an amazing experience. This was another kind of love. I was between trying to build like a career, but at the same time feeling the service. Love for myself to honor what I learned and what I want to share. My name is Angelo. I'm a messenger, period. But I didn't see that before. That's all what I need to do here. And that's what I'm doing now. We call it training, teaching, coaching, whatever it is. But for me, it's to share the message. So I love it. And I start to feel the love from people. I miss that. Before we did a lot of events every week. And then COVID arrived. Then I need to adjust. Everybody need to adjust. So we were doing more online things. But in that period of time before the COVID, I almost separated with my wife. We start to follow different paths. We start to have different goals. Big mistake if you are coaching couples. We wrote down 10 principles for intimate relationship, but one of them is you must have common goals with your partner. At least one. In that time, we didn't have any common goals. Was not making money, was not having sex every day. There was a lot of bullshit about that. And was not to have a baby. We never felt that we really want to have a baby. By the way, we don't have babies. I have a baby dog, if that counts. But in that time, we didn't have any goal, so we separate. In the middle of this, I thought everything was going well, you know. I really thought everything was going well. I was doing the workshops, start to feel some momentum in my career. I start to feel the feedbacks. And then my wife say, I think we should separate. Boom! And then I was asking, why is this happening? I didn't see this coming. Really, I didn't saw that coming. We separate for some months. We reflect about our lives. I was still in China. I moved into another place in Shenzhen. We still in the same city. We talk sometimes, but was not the same. I was ready to sign the papers. In that moment, for me, was kind of black or white. Before this kind of transition and all this growth, I was most of the time thinking about black or white. No middle things. No, we will wait to see what happened. No, because it was so painful for me that I say no, better we just cut everything. But we delay. What's something else supposed to come later. So we were talking. In one moment, we decided to meet to talk, and we found that we still feel love for each other. And that's another thing, another suggestion sometimes we do with clients or just in my videos. If you still feel love, not hope. Hope is an illusion. In the future, maybe something will happen. If you feel love, it's now, present time. If you still feel love for your partner, just find a way. Yeah, it doesn't mean you must do it and sacrifice a lot of things. But if you still feel love, maybe give one more chance. And this is what we did. She had an amazing spiritual teacher in that time. I was doing my own work on myself, just going to the gym, doing some shows, playing music. I stopped doing my meditation workshops. I was not with the right energy and heart to do that. So then we decide to come back together, and another stage of my life, another stage of love. This is when we start to love again. This picture here, you can see here in the red background, this is the moment we decide to come back together. I love to take pictures. I'm a photo freak of the moments, but maybe the most important ones. This moment was so important. When we decided to go back together, I told her, divorce is not more an option. It's not an option anymore. That's not an option anymore. If we really want to come back together, we just go all or nothing. And it doesn't mean everything was flowers and rainbows after that, but it helped us to really put some efforts there. Yeah. How many of you have experienced separation or divorce? Just to have an idea. You can say yes or raise your hand. Yeah. 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 It's a I think it's a very important moment of our life to go inside, right? When we start to experience ourselves alone and with the possibility that there is nobody else around us to help us or to listen to us, it's a training. It's a spiritual training. Yeah. Let's check our chat here. Okay. Twice, yeah. How did you lose 10 kilos? Awakening, serving, sense of mission, learning about food, gradually becoming vegetarian. Yeah, I will share more about that maybe in another session. And that's part of the process. This is not only about intimate relationship, but it's about self-love. In this awakening process, in this personal growth process, spiritual growth, whatever you want to call it, you learn how to love yourself more. You learn how to take care of yourself more. And maybe that's one of the reasons we decide to come back together. We separate for almost 8 months. In that period of time, we kept learning. We kept testing things. We keep going into the books or learning with trainers or coaches. We kept learning. We never stopped. So maybe we found something there that helped us to come back together. We created one sharing called Angel's Love during the COVID. It was very beautiful experience. We did online, I don't know, a few times for free, because there was a lot of people getting divorced in that time. There was a lot of suffering. The rate of divorce in Shenzhen was going to 50. Now I think it's more, 50%. But beyond the papers, it was a really struggle. Because in COVID, when you were there by yourself or with your partner, you start to see your real you. Yeah? You know what I mean? Did you saw your real you in that period of time?
Angelo,
Yeah.
you shared something before
Yeah.
about like shared goals, and you drawed a picture like this last time. You
Yeah.
draw a picture like this, and you say, you have what you see and know, and the rest is what you don't know.
Yeah.
And then you draw this picture of yourself and your partner,
Well, I don't
and
remember,
one
but nice to
reality,
remember.
a second reality.
Yeah.
And you said about, I think, did you say that the goals are like here? So we
Oh, yeah.
shine our torches at the shared goals, so we have a more of a shared reality. And
Exactly.
we're not putting all our attention directly on each other. Like that's
Yeah.
just too confronting if it's like that. If the woman makes you or the man makes you the absolute number one priority every minute of the day, too confrontational. You draw a picture like this and explain it wonderfully well, and I
I want
absolutely
to,
loved your picture when you drew it on the board or
yeah.
something with your camera. But that was it.
I love what you mentioned now. I want to add something that it helped me a lot. It's almost the same what you're sharing. Um, Actually, we are trying to to do our best, right? As human beings with our partner. It should, actually doesn't apply for only for intimate relationship, but it can be for with your co-workers, with your investors, with your team, right? So what I want to say here, just super, super simple, super fast, is maybe here, that's me, maybe this is my wife, right? Sometimes we see each other and we have these common goals, but still there is a lot of friction. We don't totally understand the inner world of the other ones, right? But when we have a common goal at the end, we towards our energies to that. We still take care of each other, right? We're still here. But then we have something in common now. In this case, in this moment, in this period of my life with her, is our spiritual, develop our spiritual strength. Yeah.
Something to look forward to.
Yeah.
Something to look forward to.
Yeah, something to look forward to. Exactly. And taking action now. So this is kind of what I see. It's exactly what you mentioned last time. I don't remember exactly the drawing. Well, thank you for coming back with that. And then we have this, the same. It's the same figure, right? The sides, the visions are crossing, forming a triangle. So it's no more about you or me or you and me. Now it's about we and something higher than you. Some of you can call it calling, mission, vision, service, something bigger than you. And this is what we start to do here. We start to go deeper on that. We start to share for free a lot of things. And it was at the beginning of another stage of my life. Then this is a summary of the summary of the summary. A lot of things start to happen after that. During COVID, I met one of the most famous pianists in the world, Lang Lang. I play one of my songs for him. I create songs for Shenzhen, here taking a picture with the police and the singers, and it's amazing. Yeah, it was crazy experiences. Because I already know what I need to do. Maybe I was lost in the how and what, but the why in that moment was so strong. And still now it's super strong. And I still sometimes get a little distracted. Sometimes I want to go back. Yeah, but then I come back, I see my logo, I see these pictures, I share with you. That also helps me to reinforce what I'm doing now. And she was always there. I love her so much. She's in Australia now, by the way. She will stay there a couple of months in a meditation retreat. So yeah. In the middle of the chaos, yeah, because now we are still experiencing a lot of chaos around the world. I also experience some inner chaos, and I have a lot of doubts on the way. Even if I have so many angels showing me the way, even if I have so much people around me, and a lot of beautiful things happening, I still had doubts. I still had doubts, for example, I come from a Catholic family, but I never felt I need to go to the church. I totally respect all the religions. I love them. I learn a lot from them. I still learning. And at the end, I feel like there is a direct connection with whatever you want to call it. I call it supreme love, the supreme father of the creator. You can call the universe consciousness. Yeah. So I have a lot of guidance because of that. I still believe that and I still feel it. But sometimes I have doubts, and then I suffer because of that doubts. So in that period of time, until 2024, I was really doing a lot of meditation and trying to focus on what kind of service I need to do. And I really ask, and I say, please, Father, Creator, Boss, guide me. I really need clarity. I need to know if what I'm doing is the right thing. Have you ever had doubts? After all the shit you pass through, after all the confirmation of life that is giving you, all the signs, all the feedback from your clients, but still you have doubts. Have you ever experienced that? Yeah, I think most of us have experienced that.
I don't think it's possible to grow without doubt. There are some
Mm,
kind of seeds that help us reassess ourselves, and they are a great gift. Not to be sure, not to know which direction to take. This is a way to reassess, to find an opportunity, and ask ourselves, what does life want from me, right? The doubt is
mm.
telling you, it's telling you like, is it good enough? Is it the right path? What am I doing? What have I done? And this is a gift. I love having doubts. It just really
Yeah,
helps me every single time without failure to just like level up. So yes, to doubts.
yeah, yeah. Thank you for sharing. That's very beautiful. Seems like maybe doubts and uncertainty, right? Is kind of a motivation. It makes totally sense. So in that moment, doubt was painful for me. So I need clarity and I ask for clarity. And I received the answer as an encrypted message. And I have a video, I will send later the link. I record that video in that moment when I figure out what was the answer. I will just share a little about that here so I don't make it so long. That video is like 20 minutes. I was asking for clarity. I was really asking, please tell me that what I'm doing is the right thing to do. I really don't want to waste more time, no more energy. The doubt was painful in that case, was not a motivation for me in that moment. So between dreams and reality and inspiration, I arrived to a video on YouTube, and that video was talking about a passage from the Bible. I am not following any religion. I learned Bible because I grew up in a Catholic family. We learned the Bible when I was in primary and middle school, in the school, enough to understand that I can find some guidance there. And when I saw that, by the way, this video and what this guy is talking is in Portuguese. I say the message was encrypted because it was. It came in different pieces, not even in my native language, but enough to understand. So when I saw this, the summary of the message, he say, the passage of the Bible saying, the grace of God is over you, and he confirmed the work of your hands. I saw the first version I saw of this was in Spanish. So the first words that came to me was just like that. The grace of God is over you, he confirmed the works of your hands. I cried like for maybe half an hour. And in the video you can see me, I was stopping crying because I really want to record a moment of life. And then all my doubts disappeared. Even the small doubts that I say, oh, God doesn't exist. It can be whatever you believe, right? But a higher guidance, a higher energy, something bigger than us. In the triangle, the upper part. It's not me and you anymore. It's something beyond us. And then I say, okay, in 1 second, that doubt disappeared. It was a huge relief. And the other part is just continue doing. He never told me continue writing down songs or continue doing sculptures or continue doing training. No, nothing. But he said, what you are doing, this is what I feel in that moment. What you are doing is the right thing. Just continue. I cover you. It's fine. Another verse of this passage, grace is also beauty. And for me, creation and beauty have a strong, strong meaning in my life. Creation, beauty, and love. These words are so powerful. I use it part of my anchors and my passions. It's extremely important for me. So it was like a tailor-made thing. It was just a message. I couldn't dream it or kind of imagine that. If you have chance later, I will share in the chat the link, or in the group later. It's public. It's in YouTube. So it was a beautiful experience. And here's when I start to feel the supreme love. This was the cherry on the topping. It passed from a painful experiencing, watching my role models of love, fighting all the time. I didn't believe in love between couples. I don't want to get married. I don't want to have kids. I didn't follow any spiritual path in my life. I think there is a direct connection with the Creator. Directly, we can support each other, of course, and that's very important too. And then I experienced a couple relationship. I experienced self-love, learning, growing, doubts, pain, surgeries, facing death, everything. And then at the end, supreme love. And now I don't believe, I know that exists. And I can come into your life anytime. It doesn't matter. Different ways. Maybe already came, but you didn't see it or you didn't feel it. But that kind of love that is manifested or created through your people around, through nature, through the animals, that love will hit you very strong deep in your heart. And I hope that kind of love already arrived into your life. Maybe that love is already guiding you. Moving forward, this is me. I was an angel, and I'm an angel. That's in my name, in my ID, in my passport. I still create some music. I have my sculptors. My sculptors are in the background. I don't know if you can see them. Yeah, some of them. For me, angels is not a religious thing. It's a metaphor. It's a symbol of a messenger from God, from the universe. It's a messenger of love. And that's what I'm here doing. And that's the only thing I need to do. Let's stay 1 minute in silence, if that's okay with you. Yeah. Just reflect about this sharing. You can share something in your chat now. Let's stay 1 minute in silence, and then I will guide a very simple meditation, maybe just 2 minutes. And then we can have maybe 5 more minutes just for some questions or sharing. Yeah? Let's stay just 1 minute in silence. If you want, you can turn off your camera. It's fine. You can just take a deep breath. 1 minute in silence. I would invite you to join this meditation about love. You can keep your eyes open or closed, it's up to you. You can turn off the cameras if you want, it's totally fine. Let's take a deep breath first. just feel the place you are now. Feel your body. Let's relax a little. Let's take one more deep breath, yeah? And you can exhale through your mouth and release all the tension. And just for a couple of minutes, I will invite you to put your hands in your chest, over your heart. And let's remember one moment of love in your childhood. When you were little, maybe in kindergarten or primary school. Just try to visualize and feel it. It can be something simple, something sweet, a hug, your dad coming back, a beautiful conversation with your parents or your grandparents. And when you remember that from your heart, just say thank you. Thank you for that moment of love. Let's keep the same state. Just keep your hands over your heart. And now let's move forward when you were an adult. Maybe when you start to work. Let's remember another moment or another expression of love. Maybe your first boyfriend or your first girlfriend. Remember, love can come also from our animals, our pets. Maybe a moment you feel love from a supreme father or the universe of life. Again, just feel it and say thank you from your heart. Smile. This is a beautiful process. And now let's move forward to the most recent moment of love you experience in your life. maybe it was yesterday or today before you came here. Maybe you were not receiving that, but you were giving that love. And when you remember, when you feel it, when you see it, just say thank you from your heart. Thank you for the people around, the place, the country, this planet. And now let's remember the most important person in this life. You are holding the heart of this person. You are feeling and remembering love. Yes, the most important person of this life is you. Say thank you to yourself for all the efforts, for all the tears, for all the love you give and receive. We are peaceful and powerful souls. Love is our essence. To be here in this life is an act of love. And whatever you're passing through is a gift, is an opportunity. Use love as your shield, as your anchor. And always take decisions because of love instead of fear. Okay, slowly you can pull your hands down. Just take a deep breath. You did great. Thank you so much for being there. Thank you, Adrian, for the opportunity to share. And welcome back.
Boom! You made it here! Good on you. Make sure you click the subscribe button below and check out the playlist at the end. If you'd like to come along to our Sunday sessions where we host a live, free Q&A for our students and members, you're welcome. I'll see you there.